YouTube, how's it going? How was your day today? Today I went to a work conference. I had to be professional. I'm not the most professional friend ever. That was always a bit of a challenge when I'm at those conferences. However, it was a really interesting one. Took lots of notes. I learned new things, and it was a very valuable experience. But yeah, I went went there for most of the day and then came back and did a little bit more work. And now I'm streaming with my friends. So I hope everyone is having a great evening. And hopefully, it's not cold where you are. Is winter here for you? Because winter started for us and it's chilly and snowy now. What is it like where you guys are? Lori said, like the stream and switch to live chat. Thank you, Lori. Oh, Anastasia's here. Hi, Anastasia and Monica. Woohoo! Hi, Lisa. How's it going? Monica said, lick the stream. Yay, it's Heather. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yay. I feel like I say yay often when I see people because it's so fun that people watch me. So if you're here at my last Amway stream, you know that we watched the first part of this video. We got to exactly 34 minutes and 3 seconds. And this is Lou. He was telling us the story about how he was part of the 1981 air traffic controller strike. He was one of the people who got arrested, and he was telling us about how he was recruited into Amway during that phase after his arrest while he was trying to get his life back in order. And he was telling us when we left off that he was just about to meet his wife's upline, Tim Foley, who we did a video on him a little while ago. And his wife was in it for almost a full year before he joined. And he's just about to meet Tim and start being really engaged in the Amway business for himself. I think that's a good summary of the last video. Big rainstorm here in Seattle. Oh, rain sucks. Rain sucks too. Everyone's saying hi to everyone. Hey, Gary, how's it going? Thank you for joining. Oh, Lori said thunderstorms here, quite cool out. I don't like thunderstorms. Oh, Gary said it's fabulous night in Ontario. That's good. That's good. It is dark out. It's not too bad. It's like I think the lowest I got today feels like not 34, minus 15 degrees Celsius. That was the feels like, and the actual temperature was like minus 7 degrees Celsius. So it's not horrendous. I'm just sad that winter's upon us, and I'm already sick of winter, and it just started literally today. All right, I think we're good. Oh, Monica said it's cold here too. Okay, friends, I think we're ready. I have him at 1.5 speed again. Tell me if he's too fast. And remember, we're just picking up from he's going to talk about how he first crossed paths with Tim Foley, his wife's upline, who will soon become his upline. Okay, let's go. Oh, play, friend.
I changed my mind. I don't want to go to Amway. They're liable to suck me in. You know what I mean? Gotta be careful. Amway people are really weird sometimes. I heard about them holding hands and God bless America and all this stuff. Not me, man. Don't touch my hand, Ace. Time goes on and time goes on, and she's going to these. She comes back from Free Enterprise. She's all loaded up for bear. You know what I mean? She's just walking, talking. You know.
Okay, he's sounding really fast. I can't even keep track of what he's saying. So 1.25, we're going to have subtitles as well. Okay, so she came back from Free Enterprise. She's all excited about Amway. Remember, Free Enterprise Day is a big Amway celebration, patriotism, and the Free Enterprise system, and how proud we are to be an American, pretty much, is what Free Enterprise Day is.
Amway ballistic missile, man. I couldn't believe it. Keep thinking to myself, this Tim guy, Connie Foley, Tim and Connie, Tim, and whatever it is. I don't even know these people, but they're really into this Amway deal. So one night I'm sitting at home, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Can't sleep, got to go to work the next day.
And I don't remember if it was Anastasia or Elaine. One of you said, I doubt that this whole story is true. And someone else said, they're kind of like, whether it's true or not, it's really normalizing potentially really toxic, invasive, disrespectful behavior. And so he's going to go through this whole story about how Tim Foley showed up at his house at 1 a.m. every day. We don't know if it's true. It could be completely exaggerated, but either way, it is showcasing behavior that one should not be doing. And it's making it seem like it's just so funny and comical when in reality you're invading someone's personal space at 1 a.m. and it's not funny. Seems like they're trying too hard to laugh, right? I completely agree. Right, Anastasia? So much laughter. So much laughter. The woman who keeps scream laughing is really irritating. Ma'am, he's just not that funny, right? They're paid to laugh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I think that one woman is his wife. Maybe. That's funny.
Scared. Sinking out of sight. Going to court every other.
So he's up at 1 a.m. He's supposed to be working the next day, and he's scared because he's going to court all the time. He doesn't know where his career is going to go. His wife has been in Amway for a full year already.
The week, my career's over. Squeezed the life out of me. About 1 o'clock in the morning, hear a knock on my door. Get up out of my chair. I said, who is it? Tim. Tim who? Tim Foley. I ain't doing Amway, Foley. I ain't going door to door. I don't go door to door. What are you doing at my door?
Again, this interaction probably did not happen in the exact same way. You guys who were at my last stream had so many good insights. He is very well rehearsed in this. He is probably exaggerating or potentially making parts of this interaction up to make it seem like a good story. He's trying really hard to be funny. He's trying really hard to seem relatable. So he's coming up with little snide remarks to make to Tim, who showed up at his door at 1 a.m. So he's just trying to create a certain story to achieve a certain goal, right? And that goal is to make people like him, make people relate to him, and also feel like they can achieve really fantastic success in Amway. Because look at what's his name, Louis. Louis wanted to throw out his upline. Louis didn't even want to answer the door, and now look at him. He is just completely enmeshed in Amway and is completely like ready to just let Amway take over his entire life. Come visit me at 1 a.m. See what happens, right? I'm asleep at like 10.
I open my door. I'm standing in my t-shirt, cutoffs. So you're Tim Foley, huh? The Amway guy. Come on in. My wife really juiced up about Amway. I don't know what you guys do, but I'll tell you what, it's incredible. Whatever you do, I guess you're juiced up about it. He says, look, why don't you make a pot of coffee? Let's talk. It says 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, I got to go to work tomorrow. He said, make a pot of coffee. Think to myself, this guy's something else, man. It's inside my house, make a pot of coffee. What is this? I go to my kitchen. I said, come on in, go to my kitchen. I go to my pot of coffee. I'm pouring the water, making coffee, this and that. I look back, the guy's asleep on my floor. Hey, Foley. I'm making you coffee. 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to go to work tomorrow. I ain't doing Amway. Not now, not later. I ain't doing Amway, ever. You want coffee? I'll make you coffee. But once I give you coffee, you got to go back to Amway. I ain't doing it.
There's no way that happened. Tim shows up, asks for coffee. You turn away for 2 seconds, and he's suddenly magically sleeping on the floor. You made that up. Everyone knows you made that up. However, you are a big fancy upline in Amway. You are on the stage, everyone's looking at you, no one's going to question what you're saying, so they just assume that's correct. They just assume, of course, Tim Foley laid on the ground and fell asleep when he was making coffee for him. Of course that happened. And again, if we assume that this general scenario occurred where Tim Foley showed up at 1 a.m. and asked for coffee and he said no, Tim just ignored him and said, well, just put on a pot of coffee, just do it. Why aren't we respecting people's autonomy in their own home? If they say, no, I'm going back to bed, we should respect that. He's told this dozens of times, perfectly calibrated. Exactly. Do people really think going to someone's house at 1 a.m. is acceptable? Is the crowd agreeing with him? Gotcha. Demonstrates the level of culty behavior. Yeah, everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's so funny. Not, why is this person invading my personal space when I should be fast asleep? Exactly, Anastasia, so fake. I know, who does that? Unless you have a plan with a friend. Unless you have a plan to go over to a friend's house at 1 a.m., don't do that. What is the point? I completely agree. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Yes, Amway is evil. This is Lou Carrillo. Have you ever heard of him?
Thinking to myself, this guy's really into this Amway dream deal, man. This is incredible. The guy's got a dream. Go back to the coffee pot, pour the coffee. Hey, here's your coffee, man. The Amway man. There you go. Ready? Rock and roll. Okay, good. He gets up, he looks at me, he says, you know what? I know what you've been through. I said, you don't know nothing. I said, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know me. You don't know my problems. You don't know nothing. He says, Louis, Amway's a great company. He said, you could do anything in life you want to do with the Amway business if you really put your mind to it. I said, I ain't doing Amway, man. You don't understand. I'm indicted. I'm going to jail. I did everything they said I did. I went on strike. They got all the marbles on their side of the fence. If they want to put me away for a year and a day, it's a felony. I'm gone. It's over. He says, look. He says, give Amway an opportunity. I said, you don't understand. I'm not the Amway type of guy. I know you guys go out there and talk to people and, whatever pyramid you got. I got all the, the pyramid, you put them in and this is you and you get all these people in and whatever little deal you do, I mean, I ain't doing that. He said, Louis, it's not a pyramid. It's a concept. I said,
first, Tim Foley's laying on the floor, looks up at Louis and says, I know what you've been through. Louis is like, you do not understand. I could be indicted at any moment. I am indicted. I could go to jail at any moment. You can do whatever you want in Amway. So this person just told you. So you know a little bit about what they went through during the strike, assuming this interaction is true. It's not made up. Tim knew what Louis went through during the strike, and he's still claiming that Amway is the answer to all of his prayers. Even though Tim at this point would have known that the vast majority of people in his downline are not making any money and are going into debt. So you are pitching the dream to someone who lost his entire livelihood and could be going to jail. That is horrendous. Also, Louis was like, hey, I don't want to be part of a pyramid. Tim says, it's not a pyramid, it's a concept. What? Even in the 80s, I think, assuming this is true, Louis knew that the likely that Amway had some kind of resemblance to a pyramid scheme. Even then, even in the 80s, people knew of Amway's sketchy ass reputation. In my opinion, that should be a red flag. And why are people sitting in the crowd just laughing and giggling when he's bringing up the pyramid scheme objection? I've said this in the last video. I feel like if someone called my job a pyramid scheme, I'd be a little worried. I'd do some research and I'd wonder, is there any truth to this statement? He's in Dexter Yeager's MLM. What do you mean? Or do you mean his coaching, or not his Amway tool scam company? Is that what you mean? This conversation could have waited until a reasonable time. Yeah. Go over at lunchtime on a Saturday. Why would you go over at 1 a.m.? Exactly.
Just forget. Well, thanks a lot for the coffee. Goes out of my house. Next morning, I'm going to work. I used to get up at 5:30 in the morning, go out to my little 1975 Datsun B210 hatchback. Get out to my car, and on the windshield wiper, there's a note. Pull it out. It was great meeting you last night, Louie. Give Amway a shot.
He told you no. He kicked you out of his house at 1 a.m. and you're still leaving him a note. Don't do that. First, don't go to someone's house. Second, when they say no, say, okay, no problem, and leave. Okay, you mean the tools. Gotcha. So he was affiliated to Jaeger's tool scam company? Interesting.
Tim. Open up my car, get in my car, go to work. Going to court every other week. This relationship with Foley began to develop. Every few days, he'd come by, knock on my door, 1 o'clock in the morning. Started liking the guy. Come by, hey, make a cup of coffee. I know, make a cup of, come on, yeah, there's the floor, you fall asleep. All right, no problem. Hold on a second. Make a cup of coffee, here it is. Okay, Amway guy's over here. All right, here's your coffee. Okay, I ain't doing Amway.
I doubt whenever he was going over to Louie's house that he would just lay on the floor every single time. I doubt that part's true.
I ain't doing it. Here's your coffee, no problem. Okay, we're friends, right? Whoa, Amway, I ain't doing it. This went on, I don't know how many times, over and over and over. He'd come by, just shake hands, be a friend, that's it. One day I realized he ain't coming around.
He didn't come by to shake your hand and be a friend. He came by to recruit you, which he did do at some point. When you are trying to be a friend with someone in Amway, in any MLM, it's not genuine because you're not just talking to them because you like their company. You're talking to them to get you to trust, to get them to trust you, to get them to trust you so they'll join you. So it's not genuine. He was not just doing it to be a friend.
He ain't been by for like 2 weeks. I go to phone. Wait a minute, I got to go call Foley. Maybe he got sick. Hold on a minute. Hey, Foley, where you been? Hey.
Hello, Nomi. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. I hope dinner's good. This is Lou Carrillo. He's telling us how he met his upline Tim Foley in Amway, and his wife first was really active in Amway for a year under Tim Foley, and now Tim is trying to get Lou Carrillo to join him as well. Thank you for joining. It's really nice to see you. Also, they obsess, with riches and money. They're never happy with what they have or have accomplished. It's always more. Exactly. We can never just be content with our life.
I'll be up at 1. I'll make you coffee. Don't worry. I ain't gonna sleep on my floor. Ain't no big deal. What, are you sick? You have an accident? What's the matter? Okay, come on by. Folks, I hope you're learning something here tonight. I started liking the guy. I think it was Amway. Started liking him.
So he joined because he started to get used to Tim Foley showing up at his door at 1 a.m., apparently sleeping on the floor, and he got used to him and started to like him, and that's why he joined Amway. So you're teaching your downline to harass people, show up at their door, don't leave when they tell you to leave, don't listen to them when they tell you no, just keep harassing them, make them be your friend, and then they'll join you. And by friends, I do not mean people I'm warming up so I can sell them something. Right? Thanks for the welcome and the summary. You're welcome, Nomi. Thank you for joining us. Yes, that's the lesson. That's what we're supposed to learn, Lisa. You both got it. Such a deep, meaningful lesson, right?
See, we're starting to become friends. Just a little bit at a time. He's out of Chicago. I'm out of New York. We're the same age. We get along really well. We sort of hit it off. One day I went to him. I said, hey, this Amway thing you do. I said, I sort of have an interest. I said, what do you think I should do? He said, are you serious? I said, yeah. He said, if you're serious, you need to come to a major function. I said, really? You mean like those 2 functions that my wife went without me? He said, that's right. You need to come to one of them. I said, I'll go. Saw Kathy right after that. I said, hey, we're going to a major function. She said, who said? I said, well, Tim said. I got to that major function, sat in the back of the room. I almost got trampled at the front door. I said, I'm getting out of the way. These Amway people are really strange, man. I'm getting out of the way from the door. Everybody rolled in, and I rolled in last. I sat in the back of the room, all the way back up in the bleacher with my wife, Kathy. We held hands. And from a distance, like you guys are watching Kathy and Anna, from a distance, I saw Ken and Donna Stewart go Diamond Direct. I saw Jimmy and Sue Dunn go Emerald Direct. And I saw Tim and Connie Foley be introduced on stage as new Pearl Directs from a distance. And I was way back up in the bleachers. And I looked. And I said,
Okay, I just wanted to let him tell his story. So he finally decides to join under Tim Foley. Tim says, look, you gotta get to a major function. This video that we're watching right now is at a major function. It's truly just Amway distributors who are diamond most likely or above, who actually have actually made some profit in Amway, give motivational garbage advice, nothing that's actually tangible, telling us you're not making any money in a roundabout way. You're not making any money because you're lazy, because you don't care about your future. All you have to do is just follow the system. You just have to go to the events. You have to listen to the tapes. You have to read the books. That's all you have to do. If you do that, if you believe in yourself, you will make money. Just like a man with a dream will not be denied. Just have a dream. And like Louis Carrillo told us, a dream is like you have to become obsessed with it. It has to be like a burning desire deep in your soul, which is why he's only had a few dreams in his life. He said 3 dreams. But his dreams that he told us to be a family man, to be an air traffic controller, and I'm assuming maybe his next dream was to be a diamond in Amway. So my point is, these major functions, in my opinion, are just a way to put low-level distributors into even greater debt while lining the pockets of men like Louis Carrillo, Dexter Yeager, Bill Britt, all those people, all the people we've seen on my channel. They get rich not just through their downline losing money, but also through their downline attending functions and paying into the Amway tool scam companies. Go straight to the point, dude. But yeah, pester people until they say yes. There, I summarized it for you, my man. These people love to hear themselves talk, and the preacher cadence makes me want to barf. A few people have said that in these videos. People will always say, oh, they sound like they're preaching, right? It sounds like it's church, but it's not. Very strange.
could this be for me?
And the event convinced him that Amway is for him, not just for his wife. And then, of course, him and his wife started to work their Amway business together. Sorry, I will let him talk.
I got up out of my chair. See, folks, I'm a man of conviction. I am a man that's capable of commitment. Not everybody is. Got out of my chair and started going from table to table and shaking hands and saying, what do you do for, what's your name? Well, my name's so-and-so. What do you do for a living? Well, I'm an architect. Really? And you're in here? Yep. Go to another table. Hey, how you doing? My name's Louis Carrillo. What's your name? Bob so-and-so. Yeah, Bob, what do you do for a living? I'm an attorney. You're an attorney. You're here. That's great. Hey, Jim, my name's Louis Carrillo. What do you do for a living? I'm a doctor. Really? And you're here? Yeah, that's great. Went to another table. My name's Louis Carrillo. What's your name? My name's Paul so-and-so. Really, Paul? This is your wife? Yeah, her name's Mary. That's great. Well, what do you guys do for a living? Well, I drive a truck. Really? You just drive a truck? You're here in Amway? Yeah, it's great. That's fantastic. What do you do for a living? I spend 2 hours asking people, what do you do for a living? You do this? You like this type of business? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Walked back to my chair and I sat down. And I paid attention. Nobody knew who I was. Now, nobody knew the hurts I had inside of my heart. Nobody knew that I was an air traffic controller. Nobody knew that I was indicted. You know what else? Nobody cared.
The purpose of that story is to show that it doesn't matter what your background is, you too can be successful in Amway. He was an indicted air traffic controller who could have been going to jail at just any moment. And look, he found success. And Anastasia said, you just drive a truck. Yeah, everything is, oh, you're a doctor and you're here. You just drive a truck. Oh, you're just this. Oh, you're just that. But the point is, look, even this person is a truck driver and he's making great money compared to this person who's a whatever, and this person's making great money. So look, it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter. And look, no one cares that I can go to jail at any moment. Whoa, the little fan just turned off. No one cares that I can go to jail at any moment because I am accepted here. People care about me. People don't care about my background. However, you can just make friends with people who are not going to require a transactional relationship, who will respect you, who will care about you, and who aren't going to expect you to pay money to you for you to be their friend. We don't need to pay into Amway in order to have people respect us and not care about our past. It is to appeal to churchgoers, I think, give what they say the air of having an important message. Interesting. I love that comment. Exactly, Monica. Everyone is. I think it is at least a small part church, but it is heavily Christian and evangelical. That's a hard word to say. I agree, because we've seen Dexter Yeager talk about how his Amway is a Christian, or was a Christian Amway, and the founders of Amway also were very, very strong Christians and embedded their beliefs throughout their business. So you're correct. I'm glad he's no longer directing my flights in and out of the airport. Only 1 in 40,000 make any money. Is that true? Is that the real stat? If so, that's awful.
Got back in my car after the function was over. I drove back home. Got to work that Monday. I called my wife on the phone and I said, tonight, we're going to talk about your business. Got home that night, had a meal together. We sat down on the couch. We had a board meeting. President, vice president of the future Carrillo Internet Services Incorporated. And I said to her, Kathy, let me ask you a question. I said, do you want to be a Diamond Direct? She started crying because she had the dream without the support of her husband for almost 1 year. She says, I want to be a Diamond Direct. I said, honey, do you know what it'll take to do that? Do you have any idea what we're facing here? She says, no, but I want to do it. I said, well, Dad wants to do it too. And I said, beginning tomorrow, there's only one way to win in life that I know. You've got to sell out to your dreams. There's no other way to do it. There's no short path to the big win. Got to take your licks like everybody else. Success, according to my upline crown, and I'm sure he read it somewhere, but it's a true statement. Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream.
Sorry, the audio is kind of bad. There's two things I want to say here. When he asked his wife if she wants to be a Diamond Direct, she started to cry and says, yes, that's what I want to do. I think there in an average employment environment, if you're excited about being promoted or getting a new job, like I cried when I got my first real job outside of school. I've been happy when I've gotten promotions or when I've gotten a new job. There's nothing wrong with being happy about employment. However, when you get your first job out of school, you get a promotion that has real value in your workplace and also outside of your workplace that you can use that to market yourself for future employment, or if you want to go back to school or you want to change your career. However, we said this 1,000 times here, in Amway and in MLM, in Amway, to be a diamond distributor, you have a lot of status within the MLM, but outside the MLM, it means absolutely nothing. So people get so invested into getting these certain titles in every single MLM, but you can't put Amway Diamond Distributor on your resume when you leave Amway and you're trying to find a job. He said, success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. It's not just going to happen right away. It happens slowly. The success is just realizing that you have the dream. And so in Amway, it's not like success is making a profit. It's not like success is feeding ourselves or our family. It's just realizing what your dream is. It's just understanding where you want to go in life. No, It's money. I can't feed myself or my children by just realizing what I want. That's not true. What do we think about success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream? Hi, Heather. I jumped on and then was driving and he started talking and I literally was like, hallelujah, because it sounds just like a sermon. That's really funny. I like that. I got recruited into Amway by my youth choir director's husband, and I remember hearing him idolize Jaeger and Britt. We toured some rich person's home for motivation. Can't remember whose. It was NC. Is that North Carolina? That's super interesting. I just checked my old Upline's LinkedIn profile. No Amway on his work history. Good. Good. I heard being an air traffic controller is the highest stress job out there, so I guess that prepared him for the desperation Amway brings. Kirsten, I don't remember if you were at the first part of this stream, but he was part of the 1981 air traffic controller strike. He got fired, he was indicted, and for a while after, he could have gone to jail, and he was recruited into Amway under that context where he's like, what am I supposed to do with my life? How am I going to pay my bills? Yeah. Yeah, he was desperate. He was scared. He didn't know what to do, and then was recruited into Amway. Yeah, that it's crazy. I wonder whose home you toured. And that is such a cringy thing to do. Like, look, I'm going to motivate my downline by showing them some rich person's house. So silly. Okay, let's keep going.
Success is not the immediate fulfillment of a dream. Success is the progressive realization of a dream. I told my wife, I said, beginning tomorrow, and until it happens, I show the plan every night.
But you're not successful just because you say you're going to show the plan every night. That's not success. You're not successful just because you're showing the plan every night. You're successful if you showing the plan every night is translating into sales and recruitment, and those people actually stick around and meet their personal volume requirements, and you, Louie, are able to rank up and keep your rank and make money. You can't, success is not just showing the plan. That does not make you successful.
Get me aboard an easel, put me on the Tape of the Week program, get me a book to read, whatever training program they've got, this is it. Tomorrow we begin, and we don't ever look back. I want you guys to know that there's a story.
Yeah, the wife was in for a full year, and Louis just wanted nothing to do with it. And now he's finally saying, look, I'm interested, because their upline Tim roped him in, and now they're making a game plan.
Story behind the win to Diamond. However, I can tell you this. I can tell you that I went direct on probation, because 9 months after being indicted, I got out from under my felony indictment. My lawyers were able to negotiate a deal for me. I ended up with a criminal misdemeanor on my record. On probation. Took me another year after that to break my first direct, and lost him. I talked to some of your leaders about that today. My first 3 years in Amway was miserable failure. But I had a dream. And a man with a dream will not be denied. No matter what happens, he will finish what he started. Period.
You just said your first 3 years in Amway, you were a miserable failure, but you had a dream. So based on your own logic, you were not a failure. You were a success, even though you couldn't recruit any downline directs, because you were showing the plan every single day and nothing was happening, right? So, but you had a dream. You had a dream to be Diamond. So you can't call yourself a failure. So you're already contradicting yourself here. The rich couple who let us tour their house must have been my upline's upline somewhere up the ranks. How interesting. Yeah, you're supposed to spend, according to Dexter Yeager, 5 to 6 nights a week showing the plan. Then you also have to go to your meetings. You also have to prospect every time you leave the house. You have to use your kids to prospect people as well. You just have to prospect constantly. You have time freedom, but you are working nonstop. You never just get a break. And Monica, 3 years of not recruiting anybody. So he worked, if he's telling the truth, 3 years without making any money, based on the promise from his upline that he's going to make money somewhere down the road. And you said before, I do not want to work for the chance of making money. I don't want to work because my upline says I'm going to make money. I want to work because I'm making money. You've said it a lot better than I just said it, but yeah, that comment reminded me of the comment that you've said before.
Period. When I got to Diamond Direct, I went to my first. I've been to 7 Diamond meetings, Diamond Diamond clubs in Hawaii. I've been to, this is my 8th one. This is coming up. Went to my first Diamond meeting in 1989 because we qualified Diamond in May of '88. Was sitting down with all as a brand new Diamond. I had my wife next to me, and Rich DeVos gets up on stage, goes to the podium, starts talking to all the Diamonds. And he looks at me for a second. He goes, Carrillo, he said, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad you were fired by Ronald Reagan. He says, because when you were fired by Ronald Reagan, you fell right on our lap. And we're so happy you're here. And he looked the other way.
Okay. I highly doubt that a brand new Diamond at Diamonds Club, however many hundreds of people are there, I highly doubt Rich DeVos would have said on stage, I'm glad you were so vulnerable and desperate that you found your way into Amway. And look, you're one of the lucky ones who actually ranked up and who may or may not be making some money. I don't think it's true. If it is true, he's using it as a way to further legitimize his business and say, look, all you have to do is get to Diamond, and then you're going to have direct access to one of the co-founders. How amazing. Not going 3 years without getting paid. They're nuts if they expect people to work for free for the possibility of getting paid. That's the wording you've used before. I'm not working for the possibility of payment. I am working for payment.
You guys getting tired? Now let me tell you my Ronald Reagan story. You know, when you make a lot of money, a lot of times you get...
Anyone who wasn't here for my first stream, the Ronald Reagan story, he was just fired during the air traffic control strike by Ronald Reagan. So that's the connection. I may or may not be pausing it a lot during this. It's very long-winded and it's a very roundabout story, but I may or may not interject here and there.
Give it away. A lot of money you give away. You give away to your church. Give away to your charity organizations. My wife and I are Christian people, so we give away a lot to our ministries, and we just give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away. No problem. And we give away also to our chosen political party. You give it away, give it away, give it away. So they notice you after a while. So you know what happens is they send you invitations to all kinds of stuff.
I love that brag, that humble brag. I have so much money. I just give it away to everybody. And I'm so rich that people invite me to their fancy events. Wow. So if you just stay in Amway a bit longer, you pretend that you're a man with a dream who will not be denied, and then you too can donate all your money, and you too can also be invited to fancy ass events.
You know, they send you, I've been invited to the White House, I don't know, 5 times, whatever. I ain't going with this guy in there. But anyway, and I've been invited, be cool, be cool. I don't want to get Jim in trouble. But anyway, here we go, Carrillo. Here I go again, one more time. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away. And I'm getting all kinds of invitations, all kinds of different parties. I get a phone call one day. All the way from Arizona. I'm in Florida. Mr. Carrillo, we want to thank you for all the contributions you've made in the past, and we'd like to invite you. I'm thinking to myself, I'm already a Diamond. I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what this is about, right? I want to invite you to this special dinner. We're out here in Phoenix, Arizona. I said, hey, I live in Fort Lauderdale. I can't go to dinner out there this weekend. He says, well, we're having a big deal. It's a big dinner, and, there's going to be thousands of people here. We want to, have you here with us, and so much per plate, and this and that, whatever it is. And we got some great speakers, and, we have a great featured speaker. And I said, well, who's your featured speaker? I just threw it out there just for the heck of it. He says, well, Ronald Reagan is our featured speaker. I said, who? I'm a Diamond now. He said, Ronald Reagan. I said, you mean President Ronald Reagan? He said, yeah, President Ronald Reagan is our featured speaker. I said, well, isn't that exciting? I said, how much to sit at his table? Yeah, the guy throws out first he says to me, well, that's only a table of so many people. And, I mean, you don't need to sit at that table. It's quite a bit of money. I said, trust me. So he throws out a number. I said, put me down for 2 people right next to him. He says, you want to sit at that table? I said, yes, sir. Right with him. Send you a check in the mail? No problem.
All right. He donates to a bunch of places. He got invited to a dinner with Ronald Reagan, the man who fired him 10 years prior. Is he the ultimate master of manifestation? Gary, good question. Do you think during his time in Amway he was visualizing his future while he was confronting Reagan? Do you think he was visualizing that future like it's his present, like Ray Higdon tells us to do? And then look, now it's coming true. He's going to be able to confront the person who took away his livelihood, right? I call massive BS. And there's no way to actually verify this as well. There's no way to verify it. Could be true, could not be true. However, it makes for an excellent story. Like Monica said, like other people said in my last stream, why is this being told at a business event? Because at my work conference I was at today, no one was talking about a personal story, about personal trauma, their personal background. They were talking about their employment experience, their experience that was relevant to the topic of the conference. In any employment environment, this kind of story that has nothing to do with the subject matter would not be widely accepted.
Problem. I said, right there. Hey, sweetheart, come here. You're not going to believe this. We're going out to dinner this weekend. She said, really? We do that all the time. I said, no, but we're going a little far away this weekend. She said, where are we going? I said, Phoenix. You're going to take me out to dinner in Phoenix? I said, yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to go have dinner with Ronald and Nancy Reagan. We're going to do what, Louie? I said, we're going to go out there and have dinner with Ron and Nancy Reagan. She said, Louie, what are you going to do? True story, folks. You're going to love the ending of this.
I totally agree, Mark. I think he's personable. I think he's a good-looking guy. He's sped up a little bit here, but he is well-spoken. I think people would look at him, want to listen to him, may relate to him. They hear his story that during the air traffic control strike, and he's perfected the telling of that story for a specific purpose, right? As I said before, he does not, in my opinion, doesn't tell the story for the purpose of educating people on a big labor dispute in American history. He's not educating students or union presidents. He's using it as a way to, in my opinion, make people feel sorry for him, to make other vulnerable people feel connected to him and his experiences, and so they will want to join under him. I think Gary said it. His story is very carefully curated. Yeah, it could be true or BS. Either way, it's still a lot of BS. Yeah, because it has nothing to do with what we're talking about or what we should be talking about at a business conference. Yes, I agree. Completely agree. He's very, very good on stage.
See, I gotta do nothing, honey. We get on an airplane, we fly to Phoenix, Arizona. Sure enough, we're in this room, all kinds of people. Big shot movie stars, all kinds of movie stars, all kinds of professional football players, all kinds of guys there from the Oakland Raiders and San Francisco 49ers, all kinds of Hollywood muckety-mucks, let's see, Robert Stack was into the Beach Boys were there. I mean, I could just all these big deal people, walking around, and there's we're all shaking hands and this and that, and we're all standing in line to go this receiving line to see Mr. Ronald Reagan, and so people are asking, what do you do? Oh, it's so great to meet you, Mr. Stack. I've seen your shows a lot. I remember when you were in this show, and I remember when you were on part of the Untouchables, and now you're doing that great. Oh, how are you doing? Hey, Mr. Bob Hope, it's good to see you. And I'm shaking hands with people. I'm a Diamond Direct now, walking around, it's great. And all these people got their little noses up in the air, and they're I am just so cool because I am this and that, and and I'm walking around, and I'm shaking hands, and eventually they say, well, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm an Amway distributor. And what do you do for a living? And I'm a this, and I'm a that. Really? Oh, geez, I've heard of that company before. What's your name again? Oh, Robert Stack, and I do movies. That's great. You're an Amway distributor? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm an Amway distributor. That's right. I didn't know there was any money in that. Really? Well, I make a few bucks, no problem. And so anyway,
There's lots of name dropping here. Because of Amway, he was able to donate to so many charities, and he was able to get into this room with the President of the United States, all of these famous people. And of course, that would never happen without Amway. And he's going around saying, "What do you do? What do you do?" And people are kind of like turning their nose up to him. What do we think? Maybe it's because at this point, being an MLM distributor was like outside of the norm, and people who were well known and wealthy through potentially like more traditional routes, more widely accepted routes, were looking at him and like looking down on what he did in Amway. That might be a little bit of a stretch. What do we think? And I had something else I wanted to say. If this is true, again, nothing to do with building your MLM business, other than the fact that it's exciting to be in the room with all these famous people and the president. And if we just follow Louis Carrillo's teachings, we can also be in the room with all of these famous people.
everything is great. Yeah. Geez, I didn't know you could make money then. Well, that's great. Well, where are you sitting? What's your table number? Oh, my table's 57. What's yours? 1. You're an Amway distributor? Yep. I sure am. I sure am an Amway distributor. You're going to love Diamond. You're going to love Diamond. You're going to do stuff you won't believe, man. You're going to love being a Diamond.
And of course, he was only in that room because he's a diamond. So the moment you become an Amway diamond, your entire life will change. You'll meet the president. You'll confront the person who ruined your life. You'll meet all your favorite celebrities, and your life will be perfect. Well, how are we going to get to diamond? How are we going to get to diamond if everyone knows Amway's a scam? If it's so hard for me to even recruit one person? You even said so yourself, sir. Your first 3 years, you didn't recruit anyone. So you're just sitting here saying, well, you're going to love diamond, but you're not going to tell us how to actually recruit people to get to diamond, even though you struggled with it, sir. Even though it took you 3 years to actually recruit someone, sir. Why am I annoyed? Okay, calm down.
So we're in this receiving line, you know, and Kathy keeps pulling on my arm. What are you going to do, Louis? What are you going to do, Louis? This place is full of Secret Service, Louis. CIA, Secret Service, cameras rolling. What are you going to do? We're in line. There's the president. Don't worry, sweetheart.
Oh, Lori, that's a good guess. If anyone else wants to guess. So, as we know, he got fired from his career during the strike from Ronald Reagan. And now, all due to Amway, all because of Amway, he's back in the room. He's in the room with Ronald Reagan. How do we think he's going to react? If someone approaches me saying, "Hi, I'm an Amway distributor," I'll be running the opposite way so fast. I don't think that would work nowadays, right? Agreed.
I'm cool. I'm cool. I think some big shot was in front. I know that Robert Stack was behind us, the guy that does the Untouchables, and there's Bob Hope and another guy. We're all going to go shake hands, and we're just, what are you going to do, Louis? No problem, honey, no problem. It's a great place. I mean, a lot of big shots in here, you know, no problem. We're getting closer. Tell me what you're going to do. I don't know yet. I'm praying about it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Secret Service everywhere. Look, look who's over there. Look, look. Here it is, boys and girls. I wish that you could have been a fly on my shoulder. I'm next. Hello, Mr. President. My name's Louis Carrillo. Well, it's nice to meet you, Louis. It's my wife, Nancy. How are you? Nice to see you, Nancy. It's my wife, Kathy. Mr. President, I want to thank you for something that you did to me 10 years ago. He says, really? Secret Service moves in?
So Monica said, wait, I'm lost. What is he talking about? I know the chat's slightly delayed, so I'm not sure exactly where you are, but he's just at the event that he got invited to because he's an Amway Diamond and Ronald Reagan's there, and he's in the receiving line to go up and meet Ronald Reagan, and he paid extra money to get into to Ronald Reagan's table at this event. Sorry if I didn't explain that well. Sorry if anyone else was confused. Sorry about that. I hope that's clear. And I think you're correct, Lori. I think you're correct. Let's listen.
Kathy's whispering, what are you going to do? I don't want to go to jail with you this time. You've been there before. I want you to know, do you remember, Mr. President, in 1981, there was a big, massive air traffic controller strike? You remember what you did, Mr. President? You fired 12,000 air traffic controllers. Remember you did that? Well, yes, sir, I sure do. I remember that. Sir, I was one of those that you fired. I used to work at Miami International Airport, Secret Service now really gets close. I was one of those that you fired in 1981, Mr. President. I want you to know I was indicted for a felony. I got out from under that, spent 2 years on probation. And, sir, I wanted to thank you for doing that, because after you did that to me, I got an incredible attitude about life. And I went out and I built myself a multi-million-dollar company that I own today. I'm independent, and I just wanted to thank you for the lesson you taught me. Thank you very much, sir.
You did not build a multi-million-dollar business. Lori, you're so right. How did you know? So he's thanking Ronald Reagan for firing him, potentially ruining his life, potentially sending him to jail. His career's over. But just like in every MLM, you need to see the positive in every situation. So it's not that his life was over. It's not that he could have gone to jail. It was that he learned a new lesson. He had a new attitude. He saw the positive in things. He was so desperate that he was willing to try anything to get his life back. Why can't we just see a shitty ass situation for what it is? A shitty ass situation that sucks, and we're allowed to say things suck. It's a normal, natural thing to do. Yeah, no. Rich DeVos, Jay Van Andel, they are the owners of Amway. They are the CEOs of Amway. You are not, sir. No Amway distributors own it. They don't own a $6 million business. The founders owned the business. You did not. Exactly. We're salespeople. Nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with being a salesperson, but saying you're a CEO. And it was only Amway that was able to teach him such a valuable lesson, that was able to help him see the positive in such a horrendous situation. Without Amway, his life would have been over, right? Yes, nothing wrong with that. However, don't pretend you're a CEO.
I want you to know that there's not another air traffic controller that I've ever heard of that was fired in 1981 and brought it all the way back around and faced the man that fired him and sat down and had dinner with him, had a great conversation with him, and stood up as a winner one more time. I have yet to hear about it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just wrap it up by telling you I want to thank Jim and Nancy Dorn for allowing us to come in here and share some time with you guys. I know we have a little bit more time tomorrow. We'll do a little teaching tomorrow, but I want you to know that there's a story behind every story, and that's our little story right there. And I like to wrap it up every time I speak to anybody by just giving the glory to God. I want you to know that I believe that the right priorities are God, family, and business, and if you have it backwards, you're wrong. Believe in God, love God, give him all the glory, hold your family together, always hold your family together, work real hard your business. In the next 3 to 5 years, you'll do whatever you want in life. That's the right priorities. That's how you got to live life. All right, God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
In the next 3 to 5 years, you'll be able to do whatever you want as long as you just like hold God as your top priority, and then hold your family together, and then focus on your business, and then you will just magically achieve all of your wildest financial dreams in Amway in the next 3 to 5 years. Gary had a good point about the manifestation part. Isn't it interesting, if this is true, that his life was ruined because he got fired during that strike by Ronald Reagan? 10 years later, he ends up, if it's true, back in the room with Ronald Reagan. But because of Amway, he had the self restraint and the awareness to stay calm, see the positives of such a horrendous situation, and was able to have a respectful, kind conversation with Ronald Reagan. I wonder, is it the power of manifestation? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, nothing wrong with a real world salesperson. MLM sales are way overrated. They act like they are superior beings of enlightenment and mindset. They can provide solutions to all of your problems. Yeah, every MLM distributor thinks they can change our lives and solve all of our issues. And we know life is not that simple, it's not that straightforward. Yes, he does. Yes. And what did we even learn here? Like, what did we learn? I'm trying to remember what we learned in the first. In the first part, we just learned about his story as an air traffic controller, about his life right after he got arrested. In this one, we learned about how and we learned how his wife was really involved in Amway before he was. And this one, we learned how Tim harassed him until he agreed to join. We learned that he went to the events and he saw Tim and his wife get fancy awards. He went to the major function, and then he donated a lot of money and got back in the room with Ronald Reagan, and then was able to thank him, like Lori said, for helping him find his true calling. We learned that there's a story behind every story, but how is that going to help us build our business? And all we have to do is just get to Diamond, because we're going to love Diamond. But sir, it took you 3 years to recruit your first person. So that must mean it's hard to recruit. So why aren't you teaching us how to recruit instead of just giving us these useless, garbage, motivational stories that don't have anything to do with our business? Yeah, exactly. No tips of how to actually sell something, no mention of products, nothing that would benefit a distributor. Yeah, it's all garbage. It's all garbage. For sure. So that's all I have for today. I'm glad that there were so many people watching me. That was so fun. I know I had a little bit less commentary in this one, but I hope you still enjoyed it. It was interesting. It's interesting to hear his stories, and I'm not sure how there's a story beneath a story. I'm not sure how that relates back to our work in our MLM through selling or recruiting distributors. I'm not sure I see the connection. Maybe one day we'll see actual true training, tactical training in Amway, one of these Amway videos, but I highly, highly doubt it. Next time I'm going to go live will be Friday. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I think it might be one of those videos I've done of the Beachbody coaches who have their own little side, not little, an extra side business on the side of their side business. I like doing those. It's fun when I come across those sites. So I think I will definitely do that one on Friday. Yes, it's so fun. I love Amway ones. One day, Mark Hughes. I will look up Mark Hughes on YouTube and see if I can find any good videos. Yes, isn't it so fun, Monica? I completely agree. So cool. Yay! I always appreciate your commentary. Thank you. That's so nice, Nomi. You're welcome, Lori. Yay! Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, friends. I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.